Yeah, you're back in now. I don't know.
There we go.
All right, let's make it happen.
Hi.
What's happening, my dude? I'm so glad that you could join us for a Stonercast Bites. These are usually like 1 hour kind of deals where I hang out and kind of get to know other streamers over a little bit of cannabis and
Sure.
just kind of like have the experience of like, hey, dude, you know, like I've seen you around, I've seen what you're doing. I think I really enjoy your content and
I appreciate
kind
that.
of what you do. So I was like, hey, I told Sen, I was like, get actual Jake on. I want actual Jake to come on. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah,
So-
he asked me. Apparently, you do this on like Sundays or something usually, or you'd had, and that's a busy day for me, so it hadn't worked out.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, I'd have done this earlier, honestly.
Yeah, so Stonercast is like a panel where I have a lot of people on. Usually it consists of around 5 to 6 people. And it's really just, it can turn into a total clusterfuck, but it's a lot of fun because it's just a bunch of people getting high. And we all kind of like talk a little bit about cannabis, but we let the high take the conversation wherever it goes, you know? So
Yeah, as happens.
yeah, you
So-
know.
as if letting it would necessarily matter. I think we get chatty, right?
That's right.
Anyone who smokes, you're being so polite. I just call it weed because I'm kind of lowbrow. But anyone who smokes a lot, I mean, I feel like you know how chatty we all get. At least it does for me and my friends.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So that's kind of why I was bringing you on. I was like, I gotta know more. And
Yeah.
your stream, just like I said, you always seem like a really chill guy. And like I've watched your streams, I even watched your debate with Destiny. So you know, I've seen some. But and I would venture to bet my debate with Destiny probably went way worse than yours. So
I don't think it
was
went that
dog
bad. The second half of that debate
Yours
was yeah, mine.
yours was reasonably good. Mine was.
I think the first half was
horrible.
fine. The second half, this is not an excuse, but it is what was going on. I had terrible. I didn't know it at the time. I was in the early stages of terrible food poisoning. It was really
shit.
bad. It was really literally. Oh shit! It was bad stuff. I was like, it was like fucking waterfall business over here. I didn't realize that was going to happen. I was feeling really terrible though. I was like, damn, I feel fucking I'm like shaking.
That'll always throw some shit off, especially when you're in a heated debate and you're like, God, my stomach feels like I'm gonna fucking crap. You know?
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad news.
That's funny. So just to kind of like introduce, I know you are really well known throughout Twitch, and
please.
I'm kind of the small fry here. But like, if you could just introduce yourself,
Yeah,
tell
sure.
people a little about yourself, where they could find you, and 2 questions I like to ask. So they're just token questions I always ask people, but
Sure.
favorite types of strains or a favorite strain you're smoking right now, and preferred method of consumption of consuming the
okay.
weed.
Okay. Well, I'm actual Jake. I hasn't always been a streamer on Twitch. I was a YouTuber for a while. I mean, I still YouTube, I guess, but I was known for the Bible Reloaded back in the day. An old fedora tip atheist YouTube, which apparently has to come back in some ways because politics deem it. But yeah, a lot of fun over there. We do a lot of lefty politics stuff. It's mostly vibes and just very chill nowadays. It's funny that the Destiny debate is kind of been a thing that comes up. Like, I don't debate a lot. It's mostly conversations if we do any of that kind of stuff. And I really hate like moderation and I don't know the sort of official thing. I like to just talk to people and see what they have and what their thoughts are. But obviously Destiny is a little different. But and as far as weed, I have a cone right here that I did earlier. I guess I'll
Yeah, feel free to spark up. Like, this is definitely
just gotta spark up. This is my preferred method.
Mhm.
Is like a joint. I think like the ritual of it is nice. The vapes are nice as well. And I guess edibles to some extent. My girlfriend likes edibles, or I guess my fiance likes edibles. And I don't know. The social aspect of passing around the joint is like pretty essential to my friend group. So I guess that's the way. So we did get a glycerin bong though, which is pretty bougie. You ever tried one of those? You keep it in the freezer and it keeps the pull real cold and soothing.
So
unlike that.
So not a glycerin bong, but I did have a glycerin attachment for my downstem, just a small one that you could stick in the freezer and do the same thing with. And yeah, I love that thing. I still have it. I still use it when I hit my bong, when I hit flower.
Yeah, it's nice actually. I was surprised that it made so much of a difference. That was a little bit kind of like a little bit of a gimmick. I felt like it would make a small difference, but no, it's actually like worth it. It was worth the price.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of like remembering to put it back in the freezer. And like mine, for example, it's got a coil that runs down in it, so cleaning it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. But the hits that I get off of it when it's clean are fucking amazing. They're so good. Right now, I have a Stunden glass, Cookies Edition Stunden glass that I've been smoking off of.
Oh, that sounds nicer than anything I have.
It's you might have seen Seth Rogen smoking one. Not Joe Rogan, fuck that guy.
His was it houseplant stuff looks so nice.
It does. So what he was smoking off of was the prototype, and you'll see an image of it, but it's like this thing where like it's got two glass globes and you basically flip it and it acts as a gravity bong. So, well, I can just show you actually. Dope. Here, this is what it is. It's a big device, but
oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And so you flip that middle piece.
Yeah, just flip this and then
Cool.
So, fuck the old high school garage shit of, trying to make one out of a Coleman water cooler and a 2-liter bottle or something,
I don't know where you're at, but legalized, decriminalized weed has changed the fucking game quality-wise. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm in Arizona, and, I mean, I'm still trying to get rid of my undesignated felony I got for weed possession. They finally, just this past election, said, hey, we're going to let you guys, and they don't do this in Arizona. They don't do any expungements. It's always we'll set aside, but they're actually expunging marijuana records now. So good. I'm like, let's go, baby. So
let's fucking go.
I'm working with a lawyer that does he does it for free for people. So I'm working with him, and he's trying to get all the paperwork in and do all the things to get that done. But yeah,
that's shitty as fuck.
Right.
That's shitty as fuck.
But it's nice to at least be able to get it taken care of, because I guarantee if we still had Joe Arpaio, I would be still fucked, because that guy was horrible. That guy was just horrible.
We got Big Gretch up here in Michigan right now, doing a pretty good job.
Oh, somebody wants to know if that psycho conservative on Twitter took you up on that offer for a talk. The guy
probably not. I mean, definitely not. I didn't have any single person say yes. That never happens. They're always very confident on Twitter, which makes a lot of sense. That's where a lot of dudes feel the most confident is behind literally the account Butt Chug.
Right. Yes, it's always something fucked up like that, right? It's never Tom Anderson or some shit. It's like,
or if it is, it's Tom Anderson 137564338. It's like a bot from Russia.
Right. Yeah. No, I've had a couple.
They have very strong opinions about trans folks or something.
Right.
I'm Tom Anderson, and I'm spending my entire internet identity being mad at cute girls in dresses.
Yeah. Gee, it seems like an awful. How do you have so much time to focus on this shit? That's always the question I have for these people. What else are you doing?
I don't know how their entire philosophy seems to be stuff they don't want other people doing, whether it's around them or not. I don't know how I could give a shit. I don't care if Matt Walsh wants to, I don't know, be Matt Walsh at his house. That's not the way I want to live my life, but I don't care if Matt Walsh wants to live that way. I don't know why anybody else gives a shit. I have no idea what goes on in my house. And I don't even do anything I think that Matt Walsh would be terribly against besides smoke weed. I'm a straight guy. I mean, it is what it is.
You fell into the almost being good enough for Matt Walsh category.
Almost. I think it's a pretty good lifestyle to live every day in a way that would make Matt Walsh be mad at you.
Oh yeah, definitely. That means you're doing it right. Like, did you find something you can do today to piss off Matt Walsh? Check that one off my list. I can sleep happy now.
And if you're certain demographics, you really don't have to do a lot at all, so you're fine.
So, another question I want to ask you aside from that, because I've seen it on your stream. You know what? You were so kind. Like one of the first times I was in your stream, you actually explained it to me in your stream. But for the people that don't know, what's the deal with the corn suit?
The corn stuff. Yeah. This is maybe the most common question. And I like that the answer begins to evolve over time because the lore obviously deepens every day. So really, it started. All of it was a joke. I mean, I wasn't a corn guy ever before Twitch.
Like not even the band.
No, I actually don't really fuck with the band Korn that much. Nope. Sorry. I guess that's against my own brand, but total accidental. There was a early subscriber of the channel was from Nebraska, and there were jokes about Korn, and then she had shared a video of her dad very earnestly trying to do like YouTube content where he does Nebraska-based YouTube videos or something, like very wholesome dad content where he was like, yeah, Nebraska's and Korn, and him and his friends did videos, and that was funny. And then it cascaded into for anyone that's ever been to the channel like 3 years ago, we had this video we would watch where a guy drives by a cornfield and says, "Woo, corn! Fuck yeah, corn!" And then it's just out of the side of his car while he's driving by. And then the cornfield changes to a wheat field, and he goes, "Boo, wheat! Fuck you! Bleh, gross!" And it was just so stupid. We played it, and it became sort of a thing that we rewarded chat with. And then there was—I'm telling you, this is really convoluted shit. There was a commission done. My fiance is an artist. And she did a commission for the person that had shown the Nebraska video. And essentially it had Korn involved in it. It was a whole convoluted thing. And then Korn became like a dog whistle. We started calling good things corn and bad things wheat because of the video. And then fan art came out of a cute little corn cob guy named Cobby, which is the mascot of the channel. He looks like this. This is a Cobby. He's a little cute guy. He's a little corner cob. And that's where all the emotes and stuff come from. And then the emotes got out of control. Then someone sent me a corn suit. Then I facetiously said, like, oh, if you hit this sub goal, I'll wear the corn suit. They did that. I wore the corn suit. It became like a meme on the channel. And now I'm corn guy.
I love it, dude. I love
it.
So
anytime you see me in the corn suit, they have paid for me to be in it. I can think maybe 3 times I've worn the corn suit without them coercing the action, and those were for charity. So,
and I noticed
they're monster people.
I also, while you were talking about that, I did notice you said you kind of been going back and forth between girlfriend and fiance. Sounds like that's a new thing for you. So congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah. We've been not hitched. We've been planning to be hitched since the winter time. Yeah, it's nice. It's That's a good thing. It is. I'd never done it before. I'd never asked anybody to legally bind themselves to me. So I'm pretty excited to get some new property. It'll be good. Start that equity.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, you could be like, who's that? Andrew Tate or whatever, saying that, you know, if your girlfriend or wife does OnlyFans, they owe you the money because you own their genitalia. I
was way ahead of the curve on Andrew Tate. Apparently, I did his shit 3 years ago, got bored of him, and left. And now apparently he's some sort of like, oh, he's viral because he's so stupid. I didn't know this. I'm just learning that he came back. He had like 16,000 subscribers when I was making fun of him. He was saying dumb shit. I was saying it's still the same inane sort of clickbaity hate porn that he always does. I mean, it's just his whole brand is just like, look at the dumb shit I can say with confidence.
Oh yeah, like I would be mortified to be on film or on camera saying some of the shit that I've heard him say. I'm like, really, dude? You're comfortable with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's comfortable. I mean, I think he is comfortable with it, but I don't think he's like, what's the word? I don't think he's a genuine guy. Like, I don't think he has like, I don't think he shared his feelings with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, he feels like a very alone man, even if he's in a crowd of people.
Right.
Which is sad. That's kind of how those people are, I guess.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of narcissism, I guess, that kicks in, and that just that will make you a very lonely person, because nobody wants to be around somebody like that,
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what? So you said you started out on YouTube. What started that for you? Like, what encouraged you, or how did you? Like, I mean, because I'll tell you, like, I've been doing this for less than a year, and it was legit, like, seeing the fucking political climate and screaming out into the ether, like, into my computer, and having a friend that had known me for a long time spend 2 years telling me, why don't you stream on Twitch? Why don't you stream on Twitch? Why don't you go get your emotions and feelings out about this shit on Twitch? And I was like, fucking 2 years later, here I am now, almost a year into streaming. It'll be in August. But so that my venture is pretty simple, but like I gather you did quite a bit though, because you did a lot on YouTube before even Twitch.
Oh yeah, primarily YouTube for a long, long time. In fact, I did the YouTube longer than I've done this. YouTube began identifying a problem with America, and that being Christian evangelical like belief systems. That obviously inform conservative belief, and then having a friend, Hannah, who she was reading the Bible at her parents' request, like, "Hey, you don't believe this stuff? At least read it." Mm-hmm. And we were in my car, and she was reading it to me, and we were just laughing at like Noah's Ark, because I didn't grow up religious, right? I'm quite lucky in that. Like, I'm pretty unique in America, I guess, totally on accident. That I just wasn't a religious guy. And no one really brought it up when I was growing up, aside from like people in school saying that they went to church and like Christmas and stuff, but like very real. So I just from like a blank slate, I'm listening to this story about Noah's Ark and how it's totally different than what I had imagined. It was because usually you hear like, oh, 2 of every animal get put into the ark, and then everyone in the world drowns. We gloss over that, and then there's a boat, and that's cute, right? Show kids the drowning, and show kids, how you show kids dead folks, and you're like, this is how you should act. If you're Catholic, you are familiar with anybody in the audience familiar with the very, very bloody Jesus imagery seared into your child brain, which doesn't seem super healthy. But anyway. It's actually not 2 animals at all. It's like 5 pairs of every land animal, 5 pairs of every sea animal, and like 7 pairs of air or something like that. It was like insane, and it was like super specific, and it just got really funny, and we kept reading, and it became a whole thing. We started the Bible Reloaded, where it was just 2 people who weren't religious. One, Hannah was raised religious, but I wasn't, and essentially just reading the Bible to each other and talking about it, just talking about our thoughts about it, and it became very funny, and we just were funny together, and that was the whole thing. Parlay that into Twitch. Eventually, PewDiePie said some racial slurs, and a lot of YouTubers lost ad money, including ourselves, and our name was the Bible Reloaded, and they flagged us for being gun-related content, which immediately sacked all our numbers. Right, so no clicks. We stopped showing up in the sidebar, and now we have to figure out, like, hey, we're making a living doing this. What do we want to do moving forward? And for a while, we did both. I did some Twitch stuff, and Hannah didn't, and I liked it. I like interacting and with the chat and talking to folks, and then it sort of accidentally became my primary source of income and the thing I liked doing the most. Like, producing videos is really hard. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and I was grinding way more hours than I would at a conventional job doing YouTube. But with Twitch, I'm quite lucky in having a really good fan base and ones that support me, and that I get to do stuff I like to do. I guess I'm quite lucky. That's it. That's really the whole story.
That's
sort
awesome.
of accidentally happened.
That's cool. Like, and you said you've been on Twitch, what, 3 or 4 years now?
I've been a partner for 3 or 4 years. And yeah, and then YouTube for a decade. So yeah, it's been a long internet career. I went to school to be a teacher, and I was making more money doing YouTube. Because they don't pay teachers shit, not because I was making a lot of money on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I was, I was making like just over poverty, essentially, and that was like so different. And I got to be my own boss, and that was rad. And yeah, I don't know. I think Twitch is really nice. I have you been liking your journey on Twitch in general? Like, it can be a grind, but also, do you feel rewarded in the?
Yeah. So like for me, it's, recently I've been getting in the spice, and I don't really like to do that. I really do try to avoid that shit at all costs. But sometimes shit happens, And so that's the downside of it. It's a little daunting having to deal with, especially really, really large streamers,
I'm so
audiences
jaded.
And stuff like that. But aside from that, like, and I think it was just like I got some bombardments from some, like I said, I debated Destiny, so I got bombardments from DGG.
DGG's dog shit. A terrible community.
Yeah, and then I had it out with Sansol, and I had some shit from his community. So like, yeah, I've kind of made the rounds a little bit with some people, and but I never feel good about it. Like it's always kind of like, damn, dude, like I wish I didn't have to have those interactions that way. Like I wish it could have gone different.
Yeah,
but
I do too. It's such a cynical space sometimes. Like you see people doing like the drama clickbait shit.
Oh yeah. I was,
and it's
yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, I've tried as best I could in my first year out to stay away from that shit. Some of it's found me, and, that's great. It is what it is.
I think as long as for me, and the way it makes me feel, as long as I go into it genuinely having a disagreement and wanting to have the conversation, I think it's valid.
Yeah.
And then assuming it's not going to be like some, I'm not going to debate pedophiles or something. Like there's no veracity in that. But like, so I pick my battles. But like I'm not just gonna like just a regular transphobe. I'm beyond that. Like we're not just doing that. If you have some sort of like, I don't know, a more interesting thing. I kind of have an open door policy. Not that a lot of conservatives like to say, "Hello, I'm a conservative. I'd like to share my beliefs with you," because then
you get to share your beliefs with them too.
They don't like that part. They don't like the conversation part. They really like the pulpit. They don't like the back and forth. It's surprising.
Yeah, exactly.
For people that love free speech, they sure don't like hearing it. They love giving their free speeches.
Oh yeah, they give their speeches for free so that we can listen, but they don't want our free speech. They want to give their free speeches to everybody, and then they want to charge us to speak. That's about the way that I look at it.
If they could charge us per word, they absolutely would.
Oh, believe it. Yes, they would.
Love another thing we could add a price tag to. Fucking sign me up, dude.
Yeah, peak capitalism. Words.
Can we break down every aspect of society into something we can commodify yet? That'd be awesome.
Exactly. No, so yeah, I mean, so really what I've liked about the environment is that I have built a community that I feel like are really, really good people that, care about being here and care about what I'm doing and care about me. I've had people reach out when I've had kind of bad times and be like, dude, are you okay? Like, I just want you to know, like, it's not just you up there, doing the thing. Like, people see you and, getting that, I know, we use the term parasocial a lot, but
yeah,
I think there's something to the camaraderie that you can find in that space sometimes. You know, it's
Absolutely.
not always going to be, you know, 100% sunshine and rainbows, and not everybody's going to turn into a friend. But it seems like since I've been doing this, there's just a lot of good people that I've found that have kind of moved my life for the better, you know,
Absolutely.
just because of their influence. So, you know, I try to embrace those things and, you know, dismiss the drama and the bullshit. And, you know, I usually go through it, say my piece. And after a one and done, I'm like, all right, on to the next. Let's do something else now. So,
yeah, I get bored of that shit. I mean, there was a time where I could have probably talked about that forever, but like, it's just so cynical. Like, some of these people are clearly bottom feeders, and it's like, it's really hard for me to keep going with that. It's so I'm to my financial detriment. I am thoroughly opposed to the way this is supposed to work.
Oh yeah. No, and I think that currently in the climate that it is in, is that you're right. You're rewarded for blood sports. You're rewarded for what I would call bad behavior. You know, your views go up when you do bad shit. I
don't think they make more money though, to be totally honest. Like, I do, given the size of my stream and like the amount of viewers we have, like we do pretty okay. I can support my family. I'm not like rolling in the dough or anything. I don't have Hassan money. That'd be nice. Subscribe immediately. But the like, I don't feel like it's just like, it's a lot of bullshit. There's just so much that I would rather have. You know, I don't think there's much a difference in my life between being able to pay my bills and go on a vacation than being able to pay my bills and going on to a vacation. I don't really have a lot of desires for money. So I found that once I could like be safe, having been poor for so long, once I could be safe, it was just like, I guess I'm not going to stream today. Like, I don't know. I'm very fortunate to get to that point, I guess.
Well, I think,
but
like,
a lot of people don't stop there. A lot of people keep going.
Well, and I think, like, to your point about like how you're saying, you know, you question whether some of these people are even making any more money. I think there's something to be said for that, because views don't always equal, you know, subs. You know, views don't equal, you know, donos or anything else. And I think that it's more about building a solid relationship and a strong relationship with your community, and building up a good community where they feel like they can trust you and you can share in that trust with them. It seems, and again, this is me being a rook talking about this, but it seems like that's the way to like make it work for you. That's a better way to be successful.
I've gone through a couple iterations, like on YouTube, we for a long time were sort of known as YouTube Switzerland. Like during the early culture, like the anti-feminist phase of YouTube, we didn't engage in that, but we weren't really focused on any of that. We were doing Bible stuff, and I remember people saying like, "Oh, I like to come here because I don't have to listen to either side or whatever." And I thought that was weird because we've always been lefties. But I guess we weren't hard enough. And I remember we did a book review of Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. And we did not review the book favorably. It's not a good book. It's not very helpful, and he's a Christian nationalist. It's pretty apparent if you read it. He literally says, "Live like Jesus" at the end. And he does a lot of other terrible shit within it. But I remember we just got we got like this influx. We lost like 10,000 subscribers and gained 10,000 subscribers, and the whole culture shifted. And it was like night and day. I was like, holy shit, we should have done that sooner. I didn't realize that these people were scumbags because I hadn't been paying attention. And I think that was really when we started paying attention harder to like making sure we're very clear about fuck you if you are like a bad person, right. Rather than just the religious part, because there's like atheists that think they get to be conservatives at the same time, and it's like no, you're useful to the conservatives until you're not, until either you keep going right with them or they lose you at a certain point. Eventually
when you say you're not Christian, they're going to be like, to the gallows with you. You know, I mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
it
I mean,
looks like that's
it's
what
really
they're
what it
trying to do
takes.
right now, so.
And then like all the very cynically like placed like token creators like Candace Owens comes to mind, Gothics, the fucking
Sure.
Hodge twins, any of like Blair White is just glaring like a fucking like they have her on, and that I saw a Blair White thing. Was it with Ben Shapiro? This has happened to Dave Rubin as well, where they'll be talking to somebody like some sort of conservative think brain, and was it Ben Shapiro who literally said like I do not respect your marriage, Dave, and like Dave has to sit there and have his soul like cracked in half. And frankly, fuck him. I'm glad he feels that. I'm glad he feels alienated by people he thought were his friends. And Blair White too. She was on that panel with Elijah something, the really really weird guy, and John Doyle and Carlin Borsig. Anyways,
holy shit.
Super transphobic shit was happening. Oh yeah, it's a total shitbox. And she just got the whole time like you're a man, you're not a woman, like just the whole fucking time. And it's like, how are you fucking sitting here and letting these people like rip your humanity apart when you could simply just say, oops, I was wrong about that in the past, and just stop being wrong on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, I hope the money's worth it. I mean, they're getting paid handsomely to be a fucking punching bag for people, you know, like
they absolutely are. I know that they say that a lot of leftists are like astroturfed and were bought by George Soros. I would love to get a check cut from George Soros. By the way, George.
Me too. But
love it. Yeah,
but since I haven't got the check, if y'all in chat want to gift, subscribe, or use your Prime,
that's right. Subscribe immediately.
That would be great. You know.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it.
Shameless plug.
I don't know if there's any corn whales in chat, but if there are, I demand it. I don't know if it works. We'll see what happens. What the fuck were we talking about? We smoked weed, dude. Whoops.
We were waiting for our George Soros checks.
Oh, George Soros. I don't know, okay, groomer, you're a pedophile, stuff that always happens on the right, and it turns out to be projection. I would not be surprised at all to learn that like all of these people are bought and paid for by major like Coke money. It's probably Coke money or somewhere down the line.
Oh yeah.
Fox News, Murdoch, Cash, like it's all the same shit. They'll all say the same things around the same exact time, and the news cycle continues right now. What is it? What is a woman?
Yeah. Oh God, I can't believe like the fact that
what is a chair?
Yeah. The helicopter analogy. I'm like, oh my God, dude, you guys are fucking so cringe, man. Like, come on. It's just cringe.
I guess what it really comes down to for me, and this is what I've been. This is my new, like, the bell I'm ringing until I figure out something else. We're the only people that are actually about freedom, and if America's about freedom, then we'll go left. That's what it is. Because it's like, who's telling you how to live, and who's telling you just live how you'd like?
Right, exactly.
Who wants to have rules to that? You can impose your own rules, and that's glorious. If you want to be a trad wife, then I want you to be. If you want to be a Mormon with multiple wives or husbands, I don't know how Mormons work. Go for it. I would love that, but you can't impose that shit on anybody else. In the same way, like again, they project. Oh, we're force feminizing people. They're trying to groom your kids. It's like I have never met a trans person that likes kids. None of my trans friends like kids, and I know that you exist out there, but none of my friend group does. This is anecdotal evidence, but and also like any person who's in the LGBT community or an ally of it and spends any time with these people, like it is such a consenting it's always about consent with almost everybody. At all times. I don't know. It's a very welcoming community.
I feel the same way. It's kind of like I played in a band for 13 years prior to doing this. Well, 15 years we played, 13 years we were active doing shows and shit.
Hell
and
yeah.
Like one of our favorite places to go was every Friday night there was this this night called Hot Pink Night, and it was at this club called Boom, out in Phoenix. Well, Boom was a trans bar. So, like, typically it was all trans people there. But on Friday nights, literally everybody from the Phoenix music scene was at that bar and
cool.
hanging out, you know, and like, so yeah, we hung out with a lot of gay people, a lot of trans people, a lot of people in the LGBTQ community, and it was fucking awesome. They were some of the funnest nights I ever had, you know, like.
And I think I don't know what your persuasions are here, but I'm a cishet white guy, and those being around those people, like immediately had me going like, oh, I guess when I call my friends gay, that's wrong. I shouldn't do that. Like,
yeah.
Oh, like it made me hate Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Like,
yeah,
for a good reason,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like and it was like very quickly. It was long before, you know, my best friend Hannah, who I mentioned before, came out as trans a while back, and it was before that, and I'm very glad because I'm glad I didn't have to learn that on the fly for her. She was going through enough, but I just remember like finally that moment where you're like, oh shit, stuff's transphobic pretty openly. Oh shit, stuff's like really homophobic or really racist. Like, wow, that is actually happening a lot, isn't it? And it's not like, I don't know, Republicans or conservatives in general, just fascists, are like, oh, it's white guilt, or you're so woke, you're virtue signaling. Right. It's like, not really. I just sort of like don't want people to feel bad. That's it. I feel bad that they feel like bad. Shit. Like, I don't want anybody to feel like shit over other stuff. It has nothing to do with me. And I think maybe that's, you know, it's just a leftist mentality. Like, I'm not trying to center myself in that. It has nothing to do with me. That's kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what this other culture is like. I'm from mine, and it happens to not season their food very often. Like, you know, we make fun of white people all the time. I'm sure that we each have different cultural things. We're like, damn, that's a really cool part of my culture, or whatever. Like a beer butt chicken. I love that shit. I love potato salad. I'm not going to put raisins in it, but I love potato salad. You know, I like white people stuff. I like some country every once in a while, a little twang. But man, do we have some problems that we should maybe talk about? Like, and it's so weird that, I don't know, I'm getting a little philosophical, but I feel like it's so weird that people get upset about like revealing, like, it's not even anything I personally did or we personally did, or like, it's sort of like a thing that vaguely is represented by our demographic. Like, we didn't have to be we don't have to be complicit in it to understand it. Like, I don't know where they come up with the mentality. It's just, it feels strange to me.
Yeah, and then I've always, the people that are kind of like that, you know, that'll come in, oh, well, you know, this is white guilt, or you're virtue signaling, or you're woke now, or all this shit. And I'm like, it's the same thing you just said. Like, I just don't want people to feel like crap. Like, I don't understand, like, why it's so, because see, here's the thing that I see is like, a lot of, like, for instance, the policy with the like the anti-trans bills, and, you know, like some of the LGBTQ stuff and Roe v. Wade and all this. It's like, you're trying to control people, but you sit here and say that our country is about this freedom and this liberty, but you're not giving liberty to these other people. And not only that, but like, it's really mean-spirited. It's not even just, it's not like, even just the policy, it's the rhetoric that goes along with it, you know?
True.
And it's fucking cruel. Like, they're just cruel to people. And I'm like, you know, I grew up in the church, so I'll say this. I grew up in the church. My dad was both a family law attorney and a minister, which means he could marry and divorce you. So, you know, he was getting it on both, you know, taking care of himself on both ends that way. But, you know, like, when I grew up in the church, like, it was you were taught, you know, to act with love, to lead with love. Like, even the churches I went to, one of the churches, and this is back in the 80s, had a lesbian minister, had a lesbian person that was at the pulpit, you know, and it was like, I didn't see like the kind of conservative Christians that like are probably a little bit more prevalent, but that's just because
the problem
of the churches that I went to. Yeah.
They're the problem people. Is the conservative Christian. Like, I just wish it was a situation where it's like, we were talking about this today just in my house, but it's like, I wish we were to that point where it's just like, live and let live. Like, we can coexist, but apparently you don't want to. Like, I don't give a shit what you believe until it starts hurting people.
Well,
like,
so even if you're viewing it from the eyes, like, let's say we're hypothetically viewing this through the eyes of Christ, right? He hung out with the dregs of society. He hung out with the worst.
That's what I get from it
of society. You know,
I'll say, reading through the Bible, the best parts about it weren't all the Jesus parts. I do disagree with Jesus on some major issues.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Some of the Jesus stuff, specifically in regards to the stratification of the classes, in how like wealth shouldn't determine anyone's value. And I mean, as a lefty, I get behind that right away. Like, I think there's lots of that in New Testament Christian doctrine that not a lot of American pastors are talking about. This is usually it's just stuff they don't like that's changing, and it's all political. I don't think that we can operate in a way that gives these groups tax exemption still. I don't think, because they don't stay out of politics. I don't know. I don't know what to do, besides the fact that, like, just people are naturally moving away from this. I guess I'm trying to reconcile these two things. I don't care what anyone believes. The thing these people believe is bad.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely could not give a shit, but I do, and I don't want to.
Right. Well, it's like, okay, you can believe your shitty things so long as you don't put those things into practice or try to dictate that for the rest of society.
But of course they do, right? Because they believe the shitty thing. They believe it. Right. So of course they do. They won't not do that. So how do I reconcile that?
And thereby you have to kind of say, yeah, well, the shitty things that you believe are leading you to do shitty actions, which thereby tells me that in the preponderance of all things, both of these are shitty. And yes, your beliefs are now shitty. So you're going to have to cope with that shit. It's just what it is, you know.
I don't know. A lot of people come out of that, whether they come out of religion or they come out of the strict adherence to it, I guess, is usually what a lot of people do. Like, they'll be maybe culturally Christian, or culturally Jewish, or culturally, any other thing. But I don't know. All the best, I think, just all the best things about us and the best things about religion you can come to from a secular point of view as well. And I don't think that there's so much friction that these places can't coexist together, just not as they exist right now. Like, there is like a clear misappropriation of power that a particular group has, and it is like the 30% of mostly white conservative Christian men that run the top tiers of our government, that, like, don't have any investment in our future. They're, like, not long for this world, and it affects so many people. And, like, I know I'm technically protected under all of that shit, besides being an open leftist and atheist. But I would lie. I mean, I don't care. But like, but like, it harms people. It harms people I love deeply, and so it's like, in a very selfish way, it does quite very much affect me. You know what I mean? And then, like, other people that agree with me, and it's sort of like a I don't know, I get so, like, secondhand mad, like, on behalf of, like, all these people.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I do have a sense of outrage. You know, like, I do get a sense of outrage when I see, like, injustices befalling others. Like, it really does trouble me. You know, it's one of those things you're like, fuck, man, like, really?
I kind of miss being a liberal in that way. I miss sort of, like, being like, happens.
Yeah. Welcome to life. You know, we'll
life is tough. Yes, it is, but it doesn't have to be. And that understanding, like, oh fuck, we could. That sucks. But I mean, it's right. It's correct.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of married to it. It feels wrong. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is like, maybe I'm huffing our own farts too much. This is too much of a lefty circle jerk. But at times it feels like, and I think she agrees with me. She's walking in my living room. There's this phenomenon that it's like you almost want to shake them. And you want to be like, couldn't you just see? Couldn't you just for a moment see what I'm saying for a moment, please?
Right.
And then we could just fucking do this thing. This shit could be dope as hell.
Right.
One experience where you get high as shit on shrooms or something.
We're gonna give everybody LSD once. Guided when you turn. It's a rite of passage. When you turn 18, instead of joining the military, you have a guided therapy session on LSD, and you come out the other side in oneness with the universe, and you realize that we're all in this together, and we're all we got. So, can we stop the other shit, please?
It's so funny that you said that. Just it was like last night or maybe 2 nights ago. I had some people in. I was talking to them, and I had just by happenstance jokingly said, if I had my own political party, it'd be the weed party, and I'd make everybody who was able in the entire country sit down and eat like a bunch of edibles and have to just fucking
hash it out,
engage with each other. Yeah. And then from there we'll form the government based off of that,
I was with all earnesty, this is not a joke, and I truly believe this to my very core. Understanding the faults of all these people that I'm about to say, I think genuinely that me and my fantasy football group chat could get high and run the country better, and that's fucking bad. That's not good.
Right.
That shouldn't be appealing to me. I should be like, no, we're not qualified. We are qualified. Do you know what it takes to become a congressperson? It's like signatures and a down payment of money.
Yeah.
And it's not that much money. It's not an unfeasible amount. It's like $1,500 or something to be on your state ballot. It's insane.
Oh, somebody in my chat is saying Mads of BBL says, tell him he moved my mom from a lib to a leftist for me. Thanks.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. How'd I do that? Let me know what the secret sauce was. I'm going to repeat it over and over.
We'll template that shit and get it out to all the leftist streamers stat.
I genuinely think that asking questions is the best way to do it, which is why I like conversations with people, because usually it's like, okay, I think if you ask somebody, what do you want most in life? They'll say something to the effect of, and it's a Venn diagram, but it'll include family, it'll include security, it'll include like good food and experiences, it'll be like, I don't know, puppies, like fun shit, travel, normal stuff, right? And if that's what we want, then how do we get that? That's it. Just how do we do that? And then you could be like, okay, well, if we do this, we have to do something else. Okay, then let's add it. Let's add it to the things we have to do this. And we can start to pare it down. And it seems to me, cooperation might be the number one thing on the list to do most of those things. And I don't know, I'm not a practicing communist because I don't find it to be achievable in my lifetime. But if we could reset, we could absolutely do it like overnight. I feel like we have everything we need on the planet to make that happen.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I agree. I'm sorry. I had a raid come in as you were talking, so I was trying to split.
Welcome, Raiders.
Attention. Hey, Talworks Live. Thank you very much for raiding in. If you guys like learning about high control groups and like somebody that does a lot of dabs, definitely check out Talworks Live. He's funny as shit.
A lot of dabs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dabs make me just buzz and look at my phone.
I'm not gonna lie, I do a lot of dabs, but
I can't.
I'll tell you why, though. I'll tell you how I came to that place.
Well, I'll get there probably.
So, I'm a single parent, and I've been since my daughter was like 6 months old. So I'd always smoked weed, but I got in a car accident. I got run over. Actually, I got run over by my daughter's mother. And
I'm sorry that you have gone through these things.
It happens. It happens. As you can see,
Does
I'm
it?
laughing about
It
it now.
happens less often than you'd think.
Well, have you ever seen that movie, Very Bad Things?
No.
Okay, it's like
I should watch Very Bad Things.
It's a very dark comedy with Jon Favreau, Cameron Diaz. It's got some other people in it. Great cast, but like.
Okay.
It's a comedy of errors, and it is the darkest ass fucking comedy I've ever seen. And like some of the shit that I went through really made me want to actually write a fucking screenplay that was a dark comedy like that, because it just every time you think it couldn't get any worse, it just gets that much worse. It's so fucking horrible, but excellent at the same time, you know. That said, though, like, so I hurt my back, and originally they were going to put me on all these opioids and shit, and I had friends that were like in the throes of opioid addiction, you know.
Yeah, I did too.
And I was watching them go through this shit, and I'm like, you are fucking crazy if you think you're putting me on that shit, you know. And I
have you ever taken any opioid before?
Oh yeah,
I've taken prescribed.
Yeah,
that shit's fucking good.
Well,
yeah, I don't want to take that stuff. It's good. It works.
Well, the problem that I had with it, this is interesting. The problem that I had with opioids is that they had me on oxycodone, and when I was on the oxycodone, I have never in my life ever had suicidal ideation until they put me on that shit.
That's crazy.
And I was breaking out in hives, like I was having really, really bad reactions to it, and I was like, fuck this, you know, like I'm not doing this shit. I don't like feeling like I fucking want to go off myself for one.
I was like nervous biting my,
you know,
I nervous bit my lip almost all the way through. Like
Jesus.
Like just like I was like a kid. I had gotten into a car accident, like when I was just a kid, and cut my head. So they gave me some painkillers, and I'd never taken drugs in my life. I mean, I was like a fucking 13 years old, and I just remember like biting and playing NBA Street on.
Oh shit! Taking it way back. Yes, I remember that shit.
And I bit right through that shit almost. I had like a I don't know, was it like a keloid, I guess, or just scar tissue? Like for years, I had it. It was awful. I remember the feeling of just like not really doing anything.
And then,
it really fucked me up. I don't know, but it was good. It surely took the pain away.
Yeah, and so for me, I had that bad reaction, and I was raising a kid, and weed was the medicine, right?
Yeah.
So I realized I'm not going to be able to sit there and smoke 2 bowls of fucking weed to get the high that I need to get to, you know, so that the pain isn't there. So the alternative was, like, one of my friends was doing dabs, and he kind of showed me the ropes. And back then they had these things called health stones, which were a little bit different than what we see now. But what it was is
I know the bags, but I don't know the.
So what a health stone is it looks like a regular, like, basically like any. Let me see. Any bowl like this, you know, except instead of having like a hole here, it would have basically what looks like a piece of volcanic rock on top of it. And what you would do is you just set the concentrate on top of it and hit it with the torch and then smoke it. Okay. So it seemed really easy. It wasn't as cracky looking as, like, you know, a torch in a bucket and, you know,
dude,
all the other shit.
It's such. I remember the first time I ever saw a dab, and I was like, "Damn, that's drugs. That is some drugs." Like, we were smoking weed, and now we're doing drugs.
You're right, exactly. And that's what scared me, because the first time I did it, like, somebody came in my house and brought in this giant ass bong with the
orange hot and melty.
Yeah, and it's got this nail on it, and he's like sitting there with this. He had one of those pomade jars, the Murray's pomade jars, and it was just full of this like honey. Like,
oh shit!
And I mean, he just pulls out this giant fucking. It had to have been like at least a 1 gram dab. The first time I ever dabbed, and he like threw that shit on the hot nail, and he's there with this fucking acetylene torch or some shit, torching his shit. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. As a matter of fact, the first thing I said to him is, bro, I smoke weed, I don't do crack. Like, that was the first thing. And he just like started laughing. He laughed so hard he like fell on the floor. He was like dying. He's like, no, bro, trust me. And
I'll get you too.
That first dab scared the shit out of me. Like, it took me a while to go back and do dabs again, because I was like, I was like sweating. I was like, I ain't never smoked no shit like that before, man. What the fuck was that shit? Did
you have like a panic attack? Green out a little bit?
Oh no! Attack. Well, because it was green crack on top of that, which is already super fucking sativa, and so I'm sitting there like, dude. Oh, I'm fucking on one, But after I calmed down and after I got used to it, I was like, okay, this can work in place of flower, because I can just do one, and that's like all day.
And also just the vapor doesn't smell weedy and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that ended up being my that's how I landed on that. But
I have a really fucked up ankle. My ankles were all turned in. I had surgery as a baby, and so it was all shit up. And injuries, and they hurt all the time, but weed really helps. So it helps me with chronic pain too a lot. Really helps me with sleep, mostly. Yeah. I think that's like the number one benefit of getting real high, puts me out and lets me sleep through the night, which isn't my strong suit. So getting to sleep.
Yeah, actually it's funny because my stream in some ways is somewhat therapeutic for that, because I smoke on stream, right? And I usually will smoke my whole stream. I smoke amply. And I'll usually, because I stream so late at night, I'll just stream until, I get tired of streaming and go to bed. I don't have a set time I finish. It's whenever I finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically what happens is I smoke weed and get high enough to where I feel like it's sleepy time. And then it's like, all right, guys. Yeah. Time to go to bed, talk to you guys tomorrow, but
yeah, it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's good shit.
And especially with COVID too, because, again, single dad, it's me and my kiddo, and not being able to go out and interact with people, in real life. Twitch has been actually really good for me for that. It's helped a lot.
Yeah. I'm social like that as well, and it does help. It's I think the chat feels that as well. It's kind of like a little spot we all can hang out in. And I didn't stream today like I usually do, but I will be tomorrow. Sorry, guys.
So you guys can check out Actual Jake tomorrow. If you were hoping for content today, at least you came here to get some of it.
That's right. Subscribe immediately. There you go. You have to do it again.
Do it. Subscribe. Do all the subscriptions. Oh man. So that was all the questions I had for you, but I'll let you ask away anything that you might have for me, because I never get to give people the opportunity to do that.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Everybody always asks me this when we get to talking about weed. What's your advice for new stoners? Because new stoners, I feel like they do one of two things: they don't go hard enough, or they go way too hard.
Yeah. So my first advice would be select a hybrid flower strain. Easiest, I would say, is just to throw some names out there that are very palatable for just about everybody, like a Girl Scout cookies or a Blue Dream. Pretty standard type of flower, And smoke flower. Don't do edibles. Don't do dabs first, because you're gonna get the shit scared out of you, or you're gonna fucking end up in the hospital thinking you're ODing or some shit. So just don't do that. It's fine, smoke a joint. Just smoke a joint of a nice hybrid. That's all you need, one joint. And then wait. If you're not high yet, just wait for a little bit.
If you're not high after your first ever joint, I am surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
A whole joint? Oof, that'd be That'd be impressive.
Maybe do it with an experienced friend, so you've got somebody to help you, know how to light it without, letting the joint run or, something like that. And call it a day. But don't do that. The edibles, everybody that I know that has started their first experience with weed being edibles.
It's like too many edibles.
They overdo it. They think, oh, this isn't gonna fuck me up, whatever. And it's like 3 gummies later, they're like, holy shit, my heart is racing out of my chest. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I was like, bro, I told you like not to do that thing, By the way, JJ, thank you for paying forward that gift sub. That's pretty awesome, dude. Appreciate you. But yeah, like that. And the other thing I'd say is, don't buy if you can avoid it. If you're in a legal state, do not buy off the street. Don't go buy from some fucking. No. Like listen, people like me went through that shit so that people like you don't have to. Yes. I'm the one that had to sit at the 7-Eleven for 3 hours waiting for my dealer to show up, calling me, every half an hour and saying he's going to be there in 5 minutes,
I wouldn't wait 3 hours for weed at this point. Like, I'm too spoiled. It's legal here in Michigan, and like, man, it is just convenient and quality, and like the bud tenders are nice, and like the place is always clean. They even sell fucking merch, guys, and it's usually really cute.
yeah. The dispensaries I go to are fucking rad, dude. I
love my dispos. Yeah, and I don't know, support local business. They're all owned locally usually. Unless you're West Coast, but.
Yeah, we got Curaleaf out here, which is major fucking corporate owned by apparently some Russian oligarchs, which is even fucking weird.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. In turn our American athletes. So you can
profit off of
sell weed anyway. Like,
Oh, shit. So, but there's a couple, like the 2 cool things I got going right now is like we do delivery here. There's a delivery service, and they'll deliver from a number of different dispensaries. But I have a guy that is always my delivery driver, and he's the coolest ass guy. I am now in the place where I give him Christmas presents when he comes by around Christmas time. Just because he's a cool dude, and he's really knowledgeable. So even if I'm ordering something and he brings it and he gives it to me, he's like, hey dude, just want to watch out for this about this product, or if you see any of these on special, maybe don't get those, So he's always kind of giving me like the what's what on things, and he doesn't have to do that. He literally can just drop the bag off, take the money and go. But he cares enough to have that conversation. And then there's another dispo I go to where there's one person there that like super knows their shit. They know me. I walk in and they're like, hey, I've been waiting for you. I got like these fucking things like that I know you're going to fucking love, dude. Because they know exactly the type of shit I smoke. They know like what I'm looking for, what kind of edibles I like, what consistency of concentrates I like, all that shit. And so when I go in, they're just like, boom, I got you. I'll even wait for this dispensary agent. Instead of like going to somebody else, I'll just wait until they're available because they're like, I know they know exactly what I want, so, but yeah, so largely my experiences have been really good with the dispensaries. There's no reason to buy off the street. It's just not.
It's also just lower quality. Like my friend lives next to a guy because we're allowed plants and he grows his own weed. And it's like fine. It sort of like potpourri. Like, right. Come on, man. Like, we can do better than that. We don't have to get Scooby's weed.
right.
Like it's like this guy's got a code name. Let's just go to the fucking dispo, bro. Like,
yeah, it's like right there. Like you're right down the street from here.
Literally, there's one within walking distance, and another that I prefer that is a 3-4 minute drive. Like, not a big deal.
Yeah, it's the same way I am. But those would be my rules of the road for weed. Like, just, keep it simple. You don't have to go out and go hard the first time.
I think people approach it like binge drinking for some reason.
Yeah, like, let's smoke
a bunch of party. Yeah. It's like, that's not really the vibe, man. It's like,
so do you want to like, end up on the couch.
Yeah, but like also it makes stuff better.
Yeah.
It makes things enjoyable. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
No, it's a good, like, just like Jon Stewart in Half Baked. You know, he's an enhancement smoker. Like, he does enhancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it does, and it does it great. You know, like, I love that part of it. Also, like, that's kind of some of the reason I do this kind of stuff. I didn't even get to touch on this before. The reason I do Stonercast, the reason I do Stonercast Bites is there's got to be a break from the fucking madness of, like, all the shit in Twitch polls, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because I do spend time there doing debates and other shit anyways. But, you know, it's like, I always feel like, you know what, let's go on a vacation where you don't have to worry about contentious arguments. You know, you could hang out and, like, basically treat it like a couple people on the couch smoking a joint together, whatever, and just have conversation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important. I think we need more of that kind of stuff in this space, you know, just people vibing.
Yeah, I'm actually, I not
that's
quite
what I got from
smoking
yours,
joints,
actually, too.
but yeah, we're gonna be having some folks on, not just we did a fan call-in thing, but I'll be having some, like, other streamers and content creators and stuff, friends I've made over the years, and we're gonna have some, essentially what I hope for are the deepest I can possibly get with people, where they'll still go there with me.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping. I kind of want to see, like I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone who definitely would come on. Matt Dillahunty. I want to see, and I know for a fact we'd have a great conversation because we had before. Matt Dillahunty having a conversation with me, if you guys know him. He does a lot of good content, and yeah, just stuff like that. Like my buddy Bobby Fino coming back and having another good conversation. Like, I love the idea of not having a blood sport thing, but having the different opinion still, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I have there's one conservative guy that I talk to quite a bit, the Sprouticus. He does a lot. He's been on Hippy Dippy. He's done a lot of that kind of shit. But he's like, he's fairly reasonable. Like, I can have the conversation, completely disagree with him, you know, and it doesn't turn into a total dumpster fire, you know, and it's what it is, you know. Like, we strongly
it's
disagree
rare to
on some
find
things,
conservatives that can fucking handle that.
Yeah,
which makes me sad that they're conservatives usually.
True.
There was a couple people. Was it Hippy Dippy? Maybe. I don't know. There was this one young guy. He was a conservative. And I was like, man, you know, you just acquiesce to things when I'm right. And he like properly, like you should. If like if you say something true, okay, cool, okay, I agree with that. That's fine. Like, that never happens with conservatives, and it's so weird when it does happen, when they're just reasonable, and you're like, why can't you just be one more point reasonable?
Yeah.
One more. We could just do one more thing. We're good. And I feel like some of those people can be saved. I feel like they're there.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because, like, Sprouticus, I keep teasing him. I keep telling him, you know, you're on your way to being a leftist. You keep spending all this time in my chat and, like, hanging out with me. I'm gonna pull you over, you know, because he's getting a lot of shit from people on the right because he does have some nuanced opinions about things. Not to sit here and talk about Sprout, you know.
Well, no, but I think it's important. I mean,
yeah,
having also played a part in some of these deconversions over the years, yeah, it's important. I think it's good. Like, I don't know. Conservatives are often, at least in this space, are often dudes. Obviously, that's not the only way that conservatives come, but a lot of them are dudes. And as a dude, I know how insecure we can be. I know how truly, genuinely not okay with us we can be, including myself. Like, it's not just we have genuine. I don't know. But conservatism isn't a place that allows for that. And so they often lash out when their insecurities get picked at. And I think a lot of like questioning and being like, you're wrong. I don't think a lot of people are very comfortable with being wrong, which is a natural response. And I think for some reason, it uniquely in the concoction and the chemistry of our social existence, conservatism and that brain phenomenon really mix in a bad, toxic way that sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that. So if you can break a couple people out of it, let's fucking go, baby. That's what I'm saying, you know? So I'm good for that. That said, I do have to wrap up because I have another interview I have to go to. I do a thing called Full Metal Fridays on Friday where we bring in metal musicians and do that too.
Hell yeah.
So, but I do want to really thank you for being here. If you want to give yourself a shout out, tell people again where they can find you. I'm sure a lot of people already know, but
I'm Actual Jake on Twitch, just how it sounds, Actual Jake. And we do lefty stuff. This is the vibe. This is the same as it would have been if I was live. I think it's a good space. We have a particularly high LGBTQ fan base. It's a really nice space for that. On a total accident, but it is nice. And I don't know. I think if you just like having a good time, I think it's probably a good place to be.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Actual Jake, coming on. And I definitely would love to have you back in the future. Anytime that you'd like to come on, we can definitely work that out. But enjoyed it very much. And again, thank you for taking the time for us and taking the time for the stream and Stonercast. And you have a great one.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, take care.
Later.
All right, guys. Let me do some change-a-roos here.